John Park, and welcome to John Park's Workshop. Look right there. We have proof that this show is started because my little MagTag Showtime display that we're going to talk about today as today's project told me so. It just beeped right as the show was supposed to start, and it said currently streaming. And it lets me know about my local time, so ignore that if you're not on U.S. Pacific Coast time. So it's telling me it's gonna be running. The show's gonna be running until 2. I don't always go that full hour, but I've got a bunch of stuff I want to talk about today, so maybe we will. So let me take that screen off of there now, and we'll get to that. But before we get going, one thing is I've been trying to stomp out some desyncing between audio and video that's been going on in some of my live streams. So let me know in the chat if it goes out of sync. Apparently it's synced nicely right now, which is great. I'm glad to hear that. Let me know if it goes out of sync, because I'll try toggling some things. There's always so many variables with these things, and sometimes nothing seems to have changed, and yet sync errors start happening. That drawer is open and it's bothering me. I see that back there. It's a drawer, drill bits. All right, let's see. What are we going to do first? So let me give you a little idea of the things that we have in store today. We're going to go over a couple little housekeeping things, some Adafruit things about our jobs board. We'll talk about my product pick of the week. I've got a Make Code Minute to do. I actually want to do a little bit of audio prep for that one before I actually start the Make Code Minute. So I will have you weigh in on the audio, because I'm going to be mixing in some sound, some music along with my voice during that. So I'll get some feedback from you. By the way, if you're watching this over on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch or Periscope or LinkedIn, if you're wondering where the chat is, it's largely on Discord. So if you don't know about the Adafruit Discord server, you can check it out. You can go to adafruit.it, that's our link shortener, /Discord, and you'll get an instant invite, and you can come over to the Discord channel. That's what I'm looking at over here. I have an iPad set up that I'm watching the chat on. There's a live broadcast channel. We have a whole bunch of different channels on that Discord depending on what you want to talk with people about. So there are help on projects, there's 3D printing channel, there's a CircuitPython channel, audio channel, Arduino channel, general, bunch of different channels there. So go check those out. But the chat right now is happening over in the live broadcast channel. So I'll say hi to the people there. Hello to Andy Calloway and Janiscu7, C. Grover, Mark Gamblor. Good to see you all, and thanks for stopping by. And I do keep an eyeball over on YouTube, and I see you over there, Theronis West. Hello. You said that the sync error has been occurring to several channels, both live and recorded. That's interesting. So thank you for that tidbit. I know sometimes it's out of our control, and it happens more on the YouTube side. Sometimes I've seen it happen both on YouTube and Twitch, so I know it's sort of upstream of YouTube. But yes, definitely we've seen sometimes where the YouTube audio falls out of sync. We've even had our partners at YouTube fix some of those for us after a long broadcast. They can slide it back into shape. All right, but enough about sync issues. Let's jump into some of our little housekeeping things, such as the Adafruit jobs board. We have a jobs board. It's over at jobs.adafruit.com. And if you go over there, you will see a bunch of job positions posted for anything from contract positions to full-time, part-time. You can see here there's a community game designer job posting, learning coach job posting for Dexter, science and engineering. Someone's looking for some help building a countdown timer. So go check those out. Those are some of the jobs that are available over on the Adafruit jobs board. You can see if you head there, you can post a job. So all you need is a sign-in. If you have a login with Adafruit, that's all you need to post a job. It's free. You can view the jobs that are available, and you can also post your own skills or browse the skills that are offered. So that's the jobs board, and I encourage you to go and check it out, jobs.adafruit.com. And let's see. Oh, hey, mini me in the corner. What else did I want to mention? One thing I mean to mention and sometimes forget to mention, let me open up a new browser page, and I'm going to go to adafruit.com/free, because who doesn't love free? If you head over there to adafruit.com/free, you'll see what the deals are that are currently offered. Right? Are you sometimes asking, hey, what's the deal? What's the deal with free stuff? Here you go. This will tell you about some of the free offers for different price points of stuff you've loaded into your shopping cart before you order. So for orders over $100 or over $99, you get a free Perma-Proto half-size breadboard. Super useful. I love those. If you go $149 or more, you get a free Stemma QT /quick breakout board. So there's a group of, I think, 15 of them that we have. And so each time you place an order over that amount, you'll get one of them randomly, but you won't get any duplicates until you've run through the full set, which is pretty cool. Over $200 or more, you get free UPS ground shipping in the continental US. And for orders over $299, you get a free Circuit Playground Express. So those are some of the free offers that we have. Go check them out. And the other thing I wanted to mention, let me see if I can find it. I don't remember if we have I think we have a neat URL for this. I'm going to go to adafruit.com/secure. No. All right, let me just go to Adafruit. It should be a banner here somewhere if I make the page wide enough. But what I'm getting at is we do have, might not show me this banner because I've already secured my account. But we have a 20% off coupon that's available if you secure your account. There it is. 20% off for securing your account. I'll click on this. Let's see. This gives us a blog post about it, and I think there's also a Learn guide that you can go to that'll take you through it. And essentially this is, if you verify your email address that you use for your account and you secure it with two-factor authentication, you will help the world be more secure on the internet for sure. Keep things from getting hacked, but you'll also get 20% off, and that code is active now until the 20th of December. So if you have a big order planned, you might want to go and check if you've secured your account. This is not retroactively available, so if you've already secured your account in the past, we thank you for it, and that is great, but you're not going to get a new coupon. However, if you haven't, go do it. Get yourself a nice discount. Let's see. I think this would be a great time to talk about my product pick of the week. So you may know, you may not know, but I'll tell you right now, I have a show on Tuesdays that's called JP's Product Pick of the Week. And my product pick this week was this very cool I2C Stemma QT compatible air quality sensor. And I'll show you a little 1-minute excerpt from the show. PMSA003I air quality sensor. And you can see there it shows us the different particle sizes and their quantity in the air. What if I light a match near this, or even not so near this? How quickly does it detect those fumes? And what you'll notice is 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. So that actually shot up there before I even smelled the smoke, which is kind of interesting if you think about really early warning on fire. My product pick of the week is the PMSA003I air quality sensor. And what I'm going to do now is hang it right there proudly. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Awesome, thank you for the warning. There's multiple warnings. I turned down my mic and forgot to turn it back up. All right, the reason I was laughing when I came back from showing that video was that Todd Kurt was over in the chat making me laugh. If you want to head over and have a good, good-natured, funny, fun, punny time, the Discord chat is a good place for that. One thing I'll also mention, if you noticed in that video, there were a few moments where the video garbled, and those happened to coincide with the weird desyncing. Even weirder is that there were moments where desync audio was about 4 seconds early, and then later audio was about 4 to 5 seconds late. So it really shifted what it was buffering and glomming onto. So weird. That's my obsession right now, as you can tell. I want that fixed. All right, so the next thing, I think this would be a great time for me to jump into the Make Code Minute. Before I do that, I want to just test something. If the audio is going to work, and I want to get a level of some music you're going to hear. And if you can still hear my voice, let me know, because I can mix that audio down or up. Let me know. I'm also going to check it on some headphones because I have it running through processing with some nice reverb. Okay. So let me know in the chat. Is that something you can hear? Because I don't want to jump into the Make Code Minute and have the whole thing be entirely quiet. So give me a thumbs up over in the chat. Let's see, Mark Gambler is saying, hear it clearly. Okay, good. We'll do it. Thank you, chat. All right, I'll pause that. So that's giving things away a little bit, but let's do it anyway. Let's jump into the Make Code Minute, shall we? All right, let me give you a little view here of my Circuit Playground Express, and I have it running into a gizmo here that I'll talk about later. Get that set up. Okay. For the Make Code Minute today, I wanted to show you how to build a simple random tune generator, like a song generator, that makes simple little tunes, little melodies, out of just a limited number of notes that all sound good together. So sometimes if you make generative music projects, they can be a little difficult to listen to if they're in sort of no key at all, or pick notes together that don't work well. So what I've done is I've taken just a very simple subset of a pentatonic scale, so just 4 notes here, and I have set it up so that when I hit play on my Circuit Playground Express, you will hear it is playing a little tune. It's never going to play the same thing twice because of randomness. And not only am I randomizing notes, but I've included one rest in there that it might happen upon. And I have 3 different note lengths that are essentially like a quarter note, a half note, and a whole note in length. So the way this works, if you look in Circuit, so let me lower my volume here. The way this works, if you look inside of Make Code, it's fairly simple. What I have is a pair of arrays. The first array has this set of frequencies for my notes, and the second array has this set of durations for how many milliseconds each note can play. Then, when I am playing, and playing is keyed on by the button A for off and button B for on or true. So when I play the tune, here's what happens. Inside of this loop, I pick a random number from 0 to 4, and that can be any of those 5 notes that we can play. And then I set that variable called random note to be the notes getting the value from that array. So that notes array up here grabs whichever index from there that my random number is. I'm also setting my NeoPixel to be red at that position, so you can see it kind of shows me which note we're playing, 0 being the rest when there's no sound. And then we play a tone at the random note value, whatever that was, whatever that frequency was, for a duration that's based on grabbing a random number from this little set of 3 possible timings. So that means it sort of fits within a sort of mode of music that we're used to, and it isn't just sort of random lengths and random pitches. And then I turn off the NeoPixel. So that is how we can make a little random song generator that is sort of pleasing to listen to and will never repeat the same thing twice. So it's kind of nice if you're studying or concentrating, you don't want to get hooked into a tune in your ear. So that is how you can make a little random tune generator inside of MakeCode for the Circuit Playground Express. And that is your MakeCode Minute. All right, and I said I would talk about this thing a little bit. Someone in the chat, Andy Calloway, says if it plays the right sequence of notes, it summons the aliens. That is true. I should warn you, if you've ever seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind, that can happen. At least I think that can happen. So something I wanted to do now, especially because we're getting near the holidays, I have a few little gear report kind of picks that I wanted to mention. I also have a tool tip I wanted to do this week. And I'm also noticing in the YouTube chat, Dave Odessa says, it's a nice melody, but I don't think it'll make the charts. I think I agree with you there. So I'll talk about this thing in a second, but one thing I'll mention is that I was hearing the tune through my little piezo speaker element that's built onto, or I don't know, is it a piezo? I think it is. That's built onto Circuit Playground Express. But you can see I also have these little alligator clips running out to, let me turn the volume down on this so you don't hear a pop, running out to one of these really nice little convenient cables we have that's alligator clips to a mono 3.5mm plug. And then I have that plugged into this gizmo here, which is brand new. It's called the Blue Box from 1010 Music. You've probably seen me with my 1010 Music black box before. It's a sampler sequencer that I bought last year. I think it was just last December it came out. This is the new thing that just came out, and this is also from 1010 Music. It's called the Blue Box. This is a mixer, even though it doesn't look like a traditional mixer with sliders. It's a mixer with up to 12 inputs, so you can bring a whole bunch of things together, and it also does effects processing. That's where that reverb was coming from. And kind of coolest of all, it's a recorder. So I often struggle with all the little, I've got these, let's see, where is it? Oh, here's hanging on a pegboard. I've got these little pocket operators and different little desktop synths and things, and I don't want to take up room with a big mixer, and I always struggle to figure out a good way to record stuff. So this thing, if I have a bunch of sound sources plugged into it, I could have 12 different Circuit Playgrounds playing stuff. They'll all plug in, you can record to the SD card, and you can record all those separate tracks. So you get, I think, a master mix with compression and EQ and stuff, but you also get all of those separate tracks so that you can then bring it over into a computer if you want to do a bunch of mixing and things. So very cool gizmo. I've barely touched the surface of it. I'll probably, once I learn how to really use it well, I'll do some videos about it on my own channel, because it starts to fall outside of the typical Adafruit thing. But I just wanted to mention it because I was using it, and you'll probably see it on here some more, because it's super convenient for the type of desktop synth production types of things that I do. So that's how that worked. And then let me head over to the Workbench here, because I had some other picks I wanted to go over. Let me see. Let me move my camera over 1 second. Let's go over here a bit. There you go. And it seems like I'm still in sync, huh? That's good, because I've had, as I mentioned, I have that paranoia. All right, so let me jump over here, and let me adjust this zoom a little bit too. So I had a couple other product pick kinds of things I wanted to mention. One of them I'll jump back to the machine and show you the page for it. This is an Adafruit product. We make these, or we sell these really nice stereo 3.5mm cables, stereo 3.5mm cables that are this sort of flexible metal coating. I really like these a lot, particularly because they come in, I think, 4 different metallic colors. So there's like a copper, silver, gold, and rose gold or something like that. Or maybe there's a black. These are great because it helps when you have a lot of little synthy kinds of things, music sources and so on plugged together. It helps you identify which is which, but it's also very thin. These are nice small jacks, so they don't get in the way when things get crowded together. So those I love. I'll bring up the page for those. There's actually a page on our site that shows all of them together, which is nice. You can see all the color choices there. So that is, yeah, so 3.5mm stereo, male cable. This is the copper one. There's a silver, a gold, and a black. So those, you know, you might make that a stocking stuffer for someone or a gift suggestion for yourself, because you could get a nice little bundle of 4 of them maybe and help yourself with plugging stuff together. All right, so let me jump back over here and I'll hide that. So that's one little sort of gift suggestion type of thing I'll give. And then I have 2 that are from CountyCom, and you'll see I get stuff from them all the time and show it off. This I bought about a month ago. It's a little, it's similar to the screwdriver that I've shown before, and it's pretty inexpensive. I forget how much it is, but it's less than 15 bucks, I think. And this is a dual driver with a little sliding T-handle for either your sort of typical screw bits. I think these are 1/8 inch screw bits. Is that what those are called? Can't remember. And I've got lots of these. You know, you get them all over the place. I've got this little tiny box of bits from DeWalt. So any type of screw that you need to get into a small space, you don't have a lot of room for a handle, but you need to get a lot of torque on. Because of this little T-handle, you can kind of get it where you need it and really torque down on stuff. So that's pretty neat on its own. But the other really cool part is that the other side is set up for hex drivers. So let me grab, so here's some typical, this is a pretty large one. What's this, a 7/16? Is that right? 7/16. Yeah, here's a 7/16 that'll go on it. They all have some standardized sizes. So that has a little detente ball bearing on there, so I can click that onto there. And now I've got a socket, hex socket driver, which is great. You probably want to remove the thing from that side so you don't impale yourself. So really cool, and you can, if you're trying to get into a tight space, you can use some of your longer sockets if you have these from a typical socket driver set. That'll get in pretty deep place, but without a big handle in the way. You can kind of adjust that. So it doesn't ratchet, it doesn't do anything fancy, but I like it. It's really light because they make it out of titanium. These guys make a lot of stuff out of titanium. So that's another one. You'll find that on CountyCom. That one I bought. I want to mention they gave me these. They just sent me a little gift package of these. These are 10 bucks for stainless steel, essentially dental picks. But I find these super useful. There's a bunch of different profiles of them. I find these super useful for scraping stuff, cleaning stuff, and fishing things out of small electronics. So you can imagine there's a million uses for these kind of guys. And you sometimes get really crummy ones that are, they rust or they're made out of suspicious metals. These are made in the US, they're stainless steel. They're not meant for actual dental stuff, so don't do that. Don't do that anyway, unless you're a dentist, I guess. But very useful to have in your Workbench, and I think it comes with this little case. So those are some little holiday picks I wanted to give, some Adafruit stuff, some out there at CountyCom. And let's see, let me swap over cameras because I had, actually before I do that, I'm going to head over to the chat and see what's what. And actually, let's see if I can point you at any web pages for that stuff too. So there's our lovely cables. Go check those out. Here's those picks, Tenacious Triple Pick probe set with case. Oh my gosh, yeah, someone linked to CountyCom where you see all the little EDC stuff. This is that black box, or rather blue box on 1010. So not cheap, but tiny for what it does. And let's see. That was my my product pick of the week, this lovely, where'd he go? Here he is. Lovely little air quality sensor. And then the next thing I wanted to do is I wanted to do a brief tool tip over here. I think I don't need a secondary camera for that. You should be able to see this pretty well. How's that focus? Is that focus all right? It's a little hard to tell. Let me see if I can adjust that. That's good. Lars is pretty in focus, right? So I don't know if this is a good way to demo this or not, because you kind of need some room to show this. But I've realized now that my kids are doing everything from home, from school, they're doing a lot of recording. And I realized I had never taught them, and they didn't really know how to coil cable nicely so that it doesn't end up with permanent kind of kinks and that sort of telephone coil effect that you get from cable coiling. So sometimes you'll see people do this where they just wrap a cable over their arm over and over again. What happens is that there's a continuous twist that's happening that gives it sort of a memory, especially depending on the type of cable. This stuff is pretty resistant because it's very sort of flexy, but a lot of cables, especially like big extension cords, will end up with a sort of permanent kink in them. So I recommend go look up a tutorial of this, because there's people who will explain it better than I do right here. But this is a technique I learned back in theater in college, I think, which all the audio people out there will probably have variations on this. But let me see if I can put it somewhere where you can see it. But the idea is, instead of coiling in the same direction, which always involves sort of a twist developing, you go backwards on every other one. So you'll see I'm coming inside on this next one. And that means it's twisted back on itself. So you go over, and then you go under, and I'm trying to do the little twist as I do it so you can see it avoids getting that permanent memory in there. So you can get, this has a little Velcro thing in it that it's getting caught on. So you can see that gives you a coil that you can still open up just as any. There's nothing tricky about it, but I'm just going to set those in a messy pile over here. But I wanted to show that, and then encourage you to go, if you don't know how to do that and you want a better explanation of it, go check out an online tutorial, because I think it's a skill people should have, especially because we're dealing with a whole lot of cabling now with microphones and lights and things. Oh yeah, so some people in the chat said, want to learn this. Yeah, and you can use it on smaller cables. If they're too short, it won't work. But I can even demonstrate it on this. So the idea is that you're going forward, and then you're going backward, and you're going forward. So that now has less of a single continuous twist happening along the axis of the cable. But it makes more sense for longer cables. So yeah, go check that out. Just Google how to coil mic cable or check it out on YouTube. You'll probably find some good advice. I also imagine C. Grover, who's done a lot of audio tech, theater, and recording studio and band setup, has some opinions about this. So please let me know in the chat if you're watching and you want to point people at good tutorials, or you want to do one yourself. But that's my bit about coiling. That's my shop tip. The other, and I do that. I tend to do that for even Ethernet cable and some extensions. Other much longer extension cord, like thick gauge extension cord, I do the Dirt Farmer John method, which I might have shown that video before. But there's a guy on YouTube who goes by the name of Dirt Farmer John, I think it is, and he shows a nice video of a very different coiling technique for long extension cord that makes it easy to deploy, easy to store. It looks weird until you get used to it. It looks like just a big pile of cable, but it never gets twisted on itself. Yeah, good. All right. So I hope that's helpful for people. Let's see. Next up, what have we got? I wanted to dive into our project of the week. So you saw it. Let me set up a camera here. You saw it during the lead up to the show. Do a little focusing here. Try to remove a glare. That, yeah, super glary. Let's find an angle. All right, I'm just going to tip it up. There we go. It's a little better. So that is a MagTag that is displaying our, and I don't need this plugged in here. I have a little battery in there. So that is going to use deep sleep. And every 7 minutes, it wakes up. So during deep sleep, it can kind of count with its local time internal clock. Every 7 minutes, it wakes up to check to see what real internet time says it is and to make sure that it hasn't past one of the breakpoints for a new show. But this is used to show us what show is either currently streaming. So you can see mine says currently streaming until 1400 hours, which is 2 o'clock my time. And then when we reach the next show, or the end of this show, it's going to update to the next logo, and it's going to tell us how many hours it is until our next show is up. So we have, I don't have a way to cheat on this right now other than coding. I think I can maybe tell it a lie about the local time. But what I'll do instead is I'll show you some of the graphics that we have and then some of the code behind it. But basically this is going to wake up and beep right as we reach the top of the next show, and then it is a very efficient, so we should be able to run off of a battery for a long time and then recharge it every few days and use it, or you could have it plugged in permanently if you want, and we can use it to always keep abreast of the latest Adafruit live stream that's coming up. So let's see, let me open up a little viewer window. Let me see if I can use preview for this. I'll make a new screen share for you of preview. And I'm going to open up the BMP files. In fact, just to make my life easier, I'll open the BMP files right off of the device so I get the right ones. So that'll show up on my screen here in a moment as the CircuitPython drive. So I think I'm going to reset it. Bear with me. Okay, so let's open up into preview, and then I will share this window with you. Let me see if I can also scale it up while I'm in here. And here we go. Oh, it just woke up. So it alarmed me that, hey, there's a show going on, because I hit the reset on it. So let's grab a new screen, capture. Waiting. This is probably where I really send my, my show into desync by messing around with this, but we'll see. And preview. I've never shared preview on here before. Let's see, how does it end up looking? Huge. All right, let me scale it down. Stand by. That'll do it. All right. We've made it. Okay, so this, I just wanted to use this to show, these are the graphics that'll run it. So they're going to be small on screen, so they look pretty sharp. You'll notice if I zoom in on them, I've got some aliasing and things there to try to make them look nice when they're at size. So we've got an Ask an Engineer logo, a 3D Hangouts logo, and you'll notice here I'm using the 4 colors. So the MagTag display is the 4 grayscale. So I have that dark gray, the light gray, black, and white. My MagTag just restarted itself again. I've got the Deep Dive with Scott, JP's Product Pick of the Week, Mark's Workshop, and Show and Tell. I might update that graphic. I think this is an older graphic style with that stretched out tell word. But So those are all BMP files that I made. They're 296 by 128. They live as BMP files on the disk. And I think I'll unplug this now so it stops restarting, because I'm accessing the disk as I look at this, which causes the CircuitPython device to restart. So if we look at the code here, put me over there. This is what's running on it. This is fairly beta. This is something that Lady Ada just whipped up the other day, and I started playing around with it. But you can see here, it's again using the MagTag library, so it's very, this library is overarching on a bunch of the things that we typically do, like grabbing time from a time server, grabbing JSON files and parsing them, using the display, using text either as fonts or as terminal IO built-in font. Then we have a fake time, which I think that's how you can, I haven't tested this yet, but you can tell it a fake time just to try out things like go a minute before one of the changes is going to happen and make sure things are working. There's this beep on event. You heard mine beeping there to let me know, kind of, hey, what's going on? Oh, there's a show. Then the MagTag object is created, and MagTag text is added. It chooses the PCF font. The color is white. Text position is 10 over and 112 down. And then it has an anchor point at 0, 0. So that's where text will grow from relative to the line of text. So if it gets longer, it doesn't shove it to the left. It just is essentially left justified in this case. And then we have the day names as well as the full day names, which are two lists that are used to display, to read and then display the name on there. You can see mine has the currently, let me show it here. Let's see. There it is. Yeah. So this one is currently streaming, so it doesn't say the day of the week, but you probably saw before it said coming up on Thursday in 1 hour or whatever it was. Then we have currently this list of events. So this is just hard-coded in here. I'm in the process of making a JSON file to contain these. So this was initially this sort of dictionary that was created inside the code. But this is, and I haven't shown this to Lady Ada yet, so hopefully I'm doing this sort of in the right direction. But I've set up these series of JSON hierarchies, 0 through 5. Oh, that one should be 5. For the different sets of data that we have. So the key is going to be name, day of the week, graphic, start time, and end time. And then this JSON file will be the only thing you'd need to edit if you want to change this for some different set of events. And it kind of keeps you out of the code by separating those two things out. Then once those are defined, that gets printed. And what I'll do actually, after we go through this, I'll plug it back in with the serial port so that you can see in the serial display what's going on in screen. Then if we're not using the fake time, it will use the MagTag Network Connect, which goes to your secrets file and jumps on your Wi-Fi access point. And then we get the local time. Then that sets now to be the local time, and that gives us something that we can count against while we're in that deep sleep mode. Then we start finding events. So this is a big set of comparisons to check the current time versus the different event start times, as well as the current day of the week, which is part of what's returned in that local time query. And then we get all the way down here to if there is an event current. I think I missed one, which is the next. No, okay. So if there's an event current, which is what's going on right now, we set the background to the graphic, we set the text to currently streaming until, and then we give that end time. And then when we are leading up to the next one, it'll say coming up on and give the time. So let me open up a screen session here. I'm going to plug that device back in. And I'm jumping into, oh, I've got two things plugged in. I don't know which one is which, so let me make my life easier by unplugging my camera switcher. There we go. And now I'll restart it. So it's, I just hit Control D in that session. It restarts the device. And there you can see the first thing it did was it showed me that full set of definitions inside of our events. You can see the graphic is jpp.bmp when it's JP's product of the week, and so on. Then it jumped onto my Wi-Fi access point, got the local time for Los Angeles, and then it checked each of the events. So here you can see it sort of going through, and it says, okay, event start is at 780. It is now 8:21. It is 7,159 minutes until that start. So that's next Tuesday. And then it says the name, this is essentially the text that'll get printed out. And if we go forward to JP's workshop, okay, next one is going to be 6 days, 23 hours, 19 minutes from just about now. And here it says what we're currently in, which is JP's workshop, and that's grabbing that BMP there. And now it's sleeping for 20 minutes, so it knows that it doesn't have anything it has to do for another 20 minutes. Then it'll wake up and check the time and indicate that the next show is going to be Deep Dive with Scott tomorrow. So that is the start of that. I'm going to work on, like I said, using JSON and parsing it differently internally so that we don't have this big list up here of events, so you just have one simple file to go and adjust. And then as Lady Ada said yesterday when we showed this in Show and Tell, the nice thing about this is that you don't have to use something that's complicated like Google Calendar. You can instead go and build your own little set of events that you want to be reminded of that are updating for the time. We're not updating the events online. This is very, very simple. But if you have something that's, you need a reminder at a certain day of the week to go take a bike ride, and then a different day you're going to go shopping, you could set up that sort of series of events and make yourself some nice little graphics to go with them. So that's the project of the week, and I'll be working on a Learn guide for that. Should be out next week. I'm checking the chat over in YouTube. There was some questions there. Emmett Ray said, are you an electrical engineer or just a programmer? Yeah, I'm not a trained electrical engineer. I'm not really a trained programmer. I'm a guy who makes stuff, but I know enough about putting circuits together and writing code to get some things done, and occasionally get them horribly wrong. But yeah, you can do this stuff without necessarily having that level of training. Lady Ada is both a programmer and an electrical engineer, so I save the hard stuff for her. Let's see, other questions and thoughts. Oh, C. Grover weighed in. He, I mentioned, knows a lot about cable coiling. Said it's the best technique for anything ropey or stringy. Sound people will respect and admire you. Good. So there's a couple variations that are faster and easier, but the results are exactly the same. Yeah, and I think there's like some little things people say to remind themselves of overworked, underpaid, overworked, underpaid. That's what I've heard before, which is kind of funny. Oh yeah, Jeff mentioned it up here. All right, so I think that's it. Even though my MagTag says that we're going until 2 o'clock. I'm just about done, so if you have any other thoughts or questions, put them in the chat. Love to see them. And I forgot to show, this is the MagTag page. I'll just bring this up in case you don't know what this device is that I'm showing. It's currently out of stock, so if you want to get one, go ahead and type in your email address and hit notify me, and you'll get an email when this is available. And let me go over to the Learn guide for this. Here's the primary guide. So this is where you can go if you want to learn all about it, how it works. It's an ESP32 S2 based board. It's got, let me pull it off here. It's got this nice big e-ink display built right onto it. There's the ESP32 chip on it. It has Wi-Fi built on, and that's why it's able to do some of the cool things it can do. It's also got NeoPixels across the top and 4 buttons we can use, as well as that little speaker you heard and a bunch of input and output for things like Stemma QT and NeoPixel strips. One thing I'm not using right now on this one is the magnetic feet, but we've got a little magnet feet optional that you can get on there and then stick it to your refrigerator or another ferrous metal thingy. We have a question from Todd Bot in the Discord, which is, when is more MagTags? I think the connectors are what's holding us up. So as you know, the global supply chain is a big, complicated, interconnected thing. And right now, I believe some of these connectors are hard to get. We had bazillions and bazillions of them, but those little, I think either these PH or SH size JST connectors we're waiting on a ship to come in with them. So as those come in, we'll be making more. I think that's going to do it. So thank you all so much for stopping by today. Oh, why did I do this again? I did this last week. I almost forgot. I have a MakeCode Arcade game pick of the week. So rewind. We're not done here. Let me open up my browser. How did I forget? Oh, this is a cool one too. All right. So get ready for it. This is the MakeCode Arcade game pick of the week. And for my pick of the week, this week I have picked Shark Frenzy by Cosmos Cowboy, Shark Frenzy. This he created for the Ocean Jam, so there's going to be another MakeCode Arcade game jam over on itch.io. The theme is oceans, and this is Shark Frenzy, so I've got it here. It will probably not play in a great frame rate through my streaming software, but I will try to show it off to good effect here. There it is loading up. Look at this. Load screen, chompy shark, waves, a boat. It tells us to record a high score, you enter your name. So we'll hit enter here, and I'll be the traditional AAA. And hit OK. It says, hello, AAA. The ocean is rampant with killer sharks. Use your knife to thwart those pesky carnivores. Press A or Q on the keyboard or space on the keyboard to use your knife. So here we go. You've got this cool little swimming guy. Look at these animations. We have sharks. Don't go near a shark when it's got his mouth open. Oh, I need air. Let me get up for air. Whew, that's better. I'm going to turn the volume down here. So this is a really fun. I could see this sort of game on a old school 80s console. Really impressively done. I love the parallax graphics. If you look at the bottom, we've got a couple layers of seaweed going by. Oh gosh, and watch this. If I get killed, the whole bunch of sharks go for you, which is terrifying. they just get on you. So really tremendous effort. Go check it out. It is Shark Frenzy by Cosmos Cowboy. You can, of course, click on Edit Code and check out the very elaborate setup that makes all that work. It's really impressive. You can check it out in blocks mode, or you can check it out in JavaScript mode. So that's my arcade game pick of the week. It's Shark Frenzy by Cosmic Cowboy. Amazing, really well done. And go check out the other Game Jam, Ocean Jam entries if you can. Forum.makecode.com in the arcade channel is a good place to see stuff that's going on. All right. Is that going to do it? I think that's it. Yeah. Adam Neighbors asks over in YouTube, or says, would love to see some circular e-ink displays. So would I. Have we seen those before? I feel like there have been some circular e-ink displays, maybe on a watch or something like that. That'll be very cool. All right, that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm John Park for Adafruit Industries. This has been John Park's Workshop, and I will see you next week on Tuesday for the next JP's product pick of the week, and Thursday for the next John Park's Workshop. Bye-bye.